Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany React Show. And on this show we talk all things entertainment news, movie news, a little bit of a strike update today, but mostly entertainment news. How are you guys doing today? I see a lot of you are already waiting in the chat. That's exciting. Hi Riru, hi Alexander Padilla, hi the Spyro fans, hi Green Otterbox, hi Edgeman, hi Halo, hi Rachel, hi the Free Rocket Man, hi Verse Garten, hi CD Woods, hi Rusty, and to everyone who shows up to my show each and every day. I deeply appreciate it. Alright, so we actually have a good show today. I managed to find some stuff to talk about. It's pretty slow. I think it's because it's Halloween coming up. We do have a few sort of Halloween-y topics to talk about. So yeah, we don't have like a lot of like really big topics to talk about, but a lot of like mini topics to talk about. But it's still going to be a good show. All right, let's just start with the strikes, because I do want to update you guys on like what's going on with the strike so far. So as of right now, SAG and the studios have agreed to like keep meeting, so at least they're still talking. Right now, obviously SAG is still on strike, so nothing has like been resolved yet, but at least it's promising that they are talking. Honestly, after everything sort of blew up a few weeks ago, I kind of thought they wouldn't go back to the, talking again for a while, so this is very promising. I still don't think it means like the strikes are going to end anytime soon, or like everyone's going to be able to go back to production right away this year. I still don't think, like, for the most part, things aren't going to start filming until January, but at least, hey, we're talking. People are talking, so that's, progress. Green Otterbox loves Halloween. It's not my favorite Halloween. I mean, it's not my favorite holiday, but you know what? It's growing on me. Black Star says, did you guys know a fight broke out in the early Five Nights at Freddy's screenings? Oh no, I didn't hear about that. We are going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. It is PG-13. I am going to talk about why I don't think that's going to be such a big issue, although I know a lot of people are already like, oh no, PG-13 is going to be terrible, and there's going to be no R-rated cut, but we're going to get to that. So, moving on. Now, because these SAG strikes, or the SAG strike is still going on, a number of things have already been delayed. Like, you guys know about Deadpool. That's been delayed, but we have a number of other announcements here. Like, A Quiet Place Day 1. Did you guys know there's going to be a Quiet Place prequel movie coming out? Because there is. It's still coming out. It's just delayed further in the year. So that's been delayed if anyone is planning to see that. I actually really liked the first Quiet Place movie, not gonna lie. So, you know what? It might not be bad. I might see this. I might actually see this. And it's got Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, so that's got me a little bit more excited. Also, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning has been delayed. And I told you guys, I actually really enjoyed the first, Dead Reckoning Part 1. I think I enjoyed it more than most people, but I think this is very expected. I think they still had some filming to do on this movie, so obviously they had to delay this film. The first movie, or the first part, surprisingly flopped. I was very surprised. I thought a Mission Impossible movie, especially with Tom Cruise supposedly at his peak, I really thought that movie would do really well, so I was surprised that it kind of flopped. So now I'm kind of, worried for this film, too. The fact that it's a part 2... I mean, how is this movie going to do? I feel like this movie is also kind of doomed, so I don't know what they're going to do now, but it is delayed, so they have some time to figure it out. Is anyone surprised by this delay? Is anyone upset by it? It seemed like the last time we talked about this movie, and not a lot of people in my audience seem to really care about Mission Impossible that much. Rusty says there was a fight that broke out at Disneyland recently. Why is everyone fighting? What's going on? Alex said at Comic-Con they were giving out pizza boxes with the FNAF logo. You know what? It's looking like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is it's going to be much bigger than a lot of people expected, and again, we're going to get to that eventually. Yellow Umbrella says, if it doesn't come out near a Barbenheimer situation, then it'll probably do well. True, and the next part of this mini story is that they did change the name, so I'm sure they're dropping the part 2 here. So I hope it does do well. I hope they're able to recover somehow. Maybe they'll seem like they'll edit the movie in a way so it doesn't feel like it's, a two-parter. I don't know how, because the last movie does leave on a cliffhanger, even though they do resolve certain things, they leave other things open. So I don't know. I'm still looking forward to the movie. I'm sure they're going to do something to try to, hide the fact that there was a whole part one to this movie not a lot of people saw. I'm still cheering for it. Anyone actually care about these movies? Why? Cave Yander says, Disney just needs to stop. At this point, they ruin everything they touch. What? I mean, we haven't even gotten to the Disney conversation yet. Y'all already hating. I love it. Sammy says, FNAF is PG-13. This should be interesting. Well, we're going to get to that. Okay. And so, of course, the movie everyone cares about the most, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Search for SquarePants, has been delayed. I know you guys are heartbroken. This has been the movie everyone was looking forward to. I know I was definitely going to see this movie, totally. No, I wasn't. But you know what? I think it's nice that we're still getting SpongeBob movies umpteen million years after the first one. I haven't seen any other SpongeBob movie other than the first one. But hey, I love that SpongeBob is still relevant. Again, I think I said yesterday that SpongeBob is going to become the next Simpsons, where I think it's just going to go on forever. I just don't see SpongeBob ever ending at this point. Yellow Umbrella says, not Brittany agreeing with the Disney hate, LOL. What happened? I don't know. It's we haven't even got to Disney yet, and half the chat is already F Disney. What? Guys, we're getting to Disney eventually. Motion Going says, we need a SpongeBob finale soon. What? No, we can't end SpongeBob. Fod Fareed says, SpongeBob is kind of mid now. Well, maybe it's not as funny as, in the olden days, I guess. But I don't know. I think it's such a fixture in pop culture. I don't want it to go anywhere. I mean, all the memes keep it relevant, pretty much. Joshua Munn says the first SpongeBob movie came out 20 years ago. I know. That is forever ago. But anyway, these are the three movies that were recently announced are going to be delayed because of the strikes. Expect more announcements. Again, it's kind of like COVID all over again, where it's just going to be this movie's delayed, this movie's delayed. Everything's getting delayed. All right. So, moving to entertainment news. Now, Marvel released something that I thought was pretty funny. So they released a trailer showcasing the horror aspects of the MCU to celebrate Halloween, and I did watch it. It's a well-edited, well-made trailer. Nothing really bad about it. I just thought it was kind of funny because some of these are really stretching. Some of these are quick clips of just absolutely nothing actually related to anything horror or Halloween related at all. It's just edited to sort of look that way. And it's just I don't know, this trailer made me laugh because it was wow, Marvel is trying anything to get people to watch their movies, because most of this was very much a stretch trying to relate this to Halloween in any way, shape, or form. So I just found this whole video kind of funny. But yeah, I guess, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Some of these are Halloween related, like Werewolf by Night, I can see. Moon Knight. Even WandaVision, obviously. But some of these, it's Age of Ultron. Okay? Thor Ragnarok. How are these Halloween related? I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a stretch to me. I just thought it was funny and I had to bring it up. Fod Fareed says, but the trailer was fire, though. Like I said, the trailer itself was good. I was just what is this? Nicholas says, I saw a similar fan edit years back that was better because it included the Marvel TV shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay. Joe Pedro says, the first SpongeBob movie was meant to be the series finale. Was it? Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I could see that, actually, thinking about the movie. Yellow Umbrella says there was literally a picture of Scott Lang falling. Who's shaking in their boots for that? Thank you. Exactly. That's what I mean when there's if you actually pay attention to this clip, they have some of the most random stuff, but it's set to spooky music and it's supposed to be Halloween. I'm okay, Scott Lang falling, very spooky. I don't know. Anyway, just thought it was very funny and a bit try hard, but moving on. So, speaking of Halloween, we have a list. I found a list of the most popular Halloween costumes this year, so I thought we'd go over it. Not just Barbie and Wednesday Addams, but I have a whole graphic I found, so we're going to go through it. So, at the top of the list that I think surprises no one. Oh no, I'm just realizing that it blocks part of it. Hold on. Let's see. Can I move this? Yes, I can. Okay, so now you guys can kind of see it. Let's kind of see everything. Okay. So there we go. At number 1, of course, is Barbie. I'm not surprised Barbie's the most popular Halloween costume this year. I think literally everyone and their mother, grandmother, even the dads and the boyfriends, everyone's going to be a Ken or a Barbie. Everyone is going to be just Barbified. This is going to be a very Barbie Halloween, essentially. Like, I think it's not even going to be close. I think every Halloween party, half the people there are just going to be in Barbie costumes. But yeah, this is not surprising. Number 2, princesses. So I guess little girls still want to be princesses. That's nice. Number 3, Spider-Man. Look at how popular Spider-Man still is. I'm not surprised. We are going to talk about Spider-Man in a minute, though, when we talk about the video game section. Witches. I always wanted to be a witch as a kid. I don't know why. It's like every year I had to fight the urge to be a witch. And then number 5, I wanted to, a fairy. Fairy, another, I guess, very common costume. But then Wednesday Addams. Wednesday gets represented here. Good for them. Good for them. Dinosaur, cowboy, ninja, bunny, rabbit, pirates. I guess pirates will always be a popular costume. But then we have Princess Peach. I think it's funny that we have Princess Peach here and not Mario. Like, yeah, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was huge, but Mario is not even like a popular boys' costume, apparently. But Princess Peach is a popular girls' costume, so I think that's interesting. And then we have It, so that he's still popular. We have a pumpkin, Batman, so Batman's still popular. Cheerleader, mermaid, ghost, bear, vampire, Taylor Swift. I think it's also quite ironic and funny that she's the 22nd most popular Halloween costume. And then Harley Quinn, she's still very popular. The doll, the 1980s cowgirl, and then the Toy Story. So I think this is like, one of the reasons why I like looking at what's popular for Halloween is because I think it says a lot about what really verbiated throughout pop culture that year. And I think obviously it says Barbie was probably the most popular or talked about thing this year by far, because this is, evidence. I think it shows that probably the most popular Marvel character by far at the moment is Spider-Man, because there is no other Marvel character on this list. And the most popular DC characters are Harley Quinn and Batman. So, and funnily enough, it seems like maybe Princess Peach is more popular than Mario, because again, Mario is not on here. So that's really surprising. So I think this just kind of shows you like pop culture of 2023 in a nutshell. Yeah. Anything that surprised any of you here? Yeah, it is very surprising that there is a huge lack of Marvel here. Because, like, in previous years, you definitely would have seen some Iron Mans. You would have seen some Captain Americas. You would have seen a lot more, maybe even some Thors. You would have seen a lot more Marvel characters. Spider-Man is the only one that shows up here. But he is number 3. So that's pretty high up. Oh, yeah, there's no Harry Potter either. I just noticed. No Harry Potter. Okay, and there was a very popular Harry Potter video game that came out this year, so that is a little surprising. The Free Rocket Man says, after Superman Legacy, there will be Superman costumes renaissance. Maybe. I'm a little surprised to see Pennywise is still here, even though we haven't had an It movie in a while. Nicholas says, if we're talking Harry Potter, I'm dressing up my Hogwarts robes this year. I'm Ravenclaw, though. I'm also dressing up in my Harry Potter robes. mainly because that's the only costume that I just have on me, so I didn't want to pay for a new costume. So I'm gonna be random Gryffindor Hogwarts student number whatever for like the 5th time. I've used this costume like several times. Joshua Munn says most of them are all generic costumes, so why was SAG after tripping? I know. I mean, you still have a lot of options if you can't do struck work. I mean, you could always be a generic vampire or a bear. But anyway, just wanted to share this because I thought it was interesting. Okay, moving on. Speaking of spooky Halloween-related things, Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be PG-13, but also there is not going to be an R-rated cut, which I find to be BS, because even freaking Megan got an R-rated cut. And I don't think Megan really needed an R-rated cut, but it got one. So the fact that Five Nights at Freddy's isn't getting one is just being PG-13. I don't understand. Here's why I don't understand it. I know a lot of people are like, and I even said this at one point, but here's why I'm changing my mind on this. Five Nights at Freddy's was very, very popular, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like it's been a minute since like Five Nights at Freddy's was truly at its peak. I don't think it's nearly as popular as it was. And I think a lot of the kids who were really into it back then have grown up and are now old enough to see something rated R. And I don't think that saying it, like making it PG-13 is gonna make it make more money, because, and I had to do this research myself because I was curious, these are the highest grossing horror movies. So if you actually look here, most of the highest grossing horror movies are R-rated. In fact, the entire top 5 here are all R-rated movies. The first PG-13 horror movie here is The Ring, which came out in 2002. So the whole like, oh, we're gonna make it PG-13 so it can make more money. It's like, but why? This doesn't really seem to work as much as they seem to think it does. Because like looking at this, you seem to make more money if your movie is R. And I think the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise has always kind of appealed to an older audience. I mean, I remember back again when the movie or the game series was at its peak, I was watching like PewDiePie play it and like all the other like, you know, gamers play it. It was like a huge thing. I remember it's very popular. So I'm not surprised that it's actually tracking for a pretty big debut. It's tracking to debut around 50 million. I'm not surprised by this at all, because I know the game is very, very popular and has a lot of fans. But what is surprising to me, more so what I think is just stupid, is the fact that this movie is getting a day-and-date release on Peacock. I had no idea about this until I was just doing research for this stream. Why in this world is this movie getting released on Peacock at the same time as it's going in theaters? I thought we already tried this during the pandemic and we realized that was stupid and they lost so much money. So why are they're leaving so much money on the table? I feel like the executives did not realize how popular this brand was, because why on earth did they do this? Like, I've been seeing all these articles about how like, oh, the industry is surprised by how well this movie is tracking, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think most like Gen Z at least probably could have told you that this property had a very huge fan base. Like this game at its peak was huge. So why are they treating this movie like it's some like small little property? Like Five Nights at Freddy's is some small little IP as no one has heard of, because that's what they're kind of doing. And I think they're leaving a lot of money on the table, because like what? Okay, I think this is a mistake in my opinion. What do you guys think? Why do you think they're doing this? Yellow Umbrella says Peacock is like the worst quality. I know, no one uses Peacock. Like is this just an excuse to get people to use a service called Peacock? Because their first mistake was calling it Peacock. That was just, you know, dead on arrival right there. Brianna Desart says, this gang was everywhere. This thing isn't small at all. What the heck are they thinking? Exactly. This is why I'm thinking there just must be a huge disconnect between like Disney, like not Disney, but like film Hollywood executives who greenlight stuff versus like what they think young people like versus like what young people actually like. I think there is like a massive disconnect because I don't understand how they didn't understand how big Five Nights at Freddy's was. Green Otterbox says, no idea why it's going on Peacock. It still has a massive fan base. Exactly. Hybrid Venom says they're just doing it for the money. They're doing it to try to get people to sign up for Peacock, but no one wants Peacock. I feel like they don't even want Peacock, because why did they name it that? Motion Going says, this was announced 3 months ago. It was horrible news. I'm surprised you didn't know. I'm still watching it in theaters, though. Yeah, I'm surprised I missed the news, too. But, updating you guys now. Also, the news is very, very, very slow. So I had to, find something to talk about. Jao Pedro says, Jao Pedro says, this movie isn't being promoted at all by the theaters here in Brazil. Don't know why. By the way, we don't have Peacock here. Yeah, this movie also isn't being promoted that much. I feel like that's why the trades are so surprised this is, like, doing well at all in pre-sales. And I think that also, again, just shows you, like, the massive disconnect. Like, how did you not know? This is Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, again, this is, like, reminding me of, like, when all the media and the trades were surprised when the Super Mario Bros. Movie did so well. And it's like, it's the Super Mario Brothers. Like, do you guys not know at all, like, how popular these games are? Like, what is going on? Cheetah Viper says, Peacock has figure skating, that's why I pay for it. Okay. We found the one person who pays for Peacock. Alright, but anyway, moving on. Speaking of horrible, terrifying news, we have another streaming service that's raising its prices. I just told you about Netflix, told you about Disney before that. And now we have Apple TV Plus. No one even uses this. And they're still raising their prices. So that's ridiculous. It's going to be $10 a month now, an increase of $3 a month. So for all of its dozens of users, I hope they're happy. You know what? I know that Apple TV Plus is known for quality because it's Apple and they make, they made Ted Lasso, they made a bunch of other stuff we're told is good, but, you're always like, yeah, I'll get to it. But it's always that kind of service where, again, you're always like, yeah, I promise, I'll watch it eventually. And then you don't. But now it's raising its prices. It's $10 a month. Again, all of this stuff together is going to become way more expensive than cable. Chloe Santos says Severance on Apple TV is excellent. Yes, Severance was very good. They do have very good stuff on there, not gonna lie. But it is amongst, like, one of, like, the least watched or least talked about streaming services. Finger crossed they don't raise Hulu prices. I feel like Disney is going to combine Hulu and Disney Plus at some point. So when that happens, I think the price of Disney Plus is going to go way up. So get ready for that. Editing Geek says, never used Apple TV Plus. I just pirate. You guys confess your crimes to me on the daily. It's funny. Giovanni Tessera says, why does every company have a streaming app? Well, they all thought streaming would make this, billions and billions of dollars like Netflix, but that did not turn out to be the case. But anyway, moving on, I had to update you because it feels like every single streaming service is raising their price right now. Alright, moving on to some good spooky news. So, Guillermo del Toro is making a Frankenstein movie, so I'm already hooked right there. And we have a cast, which is even more exciting. Mia Goth as the bride? What? I thought Pearl was my favorite movie of last year. Genuinely, I thought Pearl was amazing. I think she's a great actress, so I'm super excited to see her in this, especially as the bride. I think that is great casting. Oscar Isaac as the monster, love it. Andrew Garfield as the doctor? Come on. I feel like this is one of those movies that was made specifically for me. So, I'm excited for this. Totally excited for this. Anyone interested in this at all? It's just a Netflix movie, unfortunately. Not going to go to theaters, but the cast and the director have me excited. Yeah, no, the cast is insane. I feel like everyone is like perfectly Twitter casted. I don't know if it's just me. Has anyone noticed a lot of movies lately feel like Twitter could have casted them? Like, I feel like there's a lot of casting directors that are scrolling Twitter or something that just see all these fan casting and are like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Because a lot of casting lately has just been like, yeah, I feel like Twitter could have done that. Or Twitter did do that. Okay, some of you are just saying, eh. Motion Going is excited. Yeah. Evil Connor likes Andrew Garfield. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Spider-Man 2 game in a minute. Yellow Umbrella says everyone committing illegal activity in the chat. I know you guys say it so casually too. You're like, yeah, I'll just pirate this. I'm like, okay. Well, you do you. Anyway, I'm excited for it, so I just had to tell you guys. Anyway, so moving on to actually some good news before we get on to the terrifying news again. Daniel Radcliffe somehow managed to escape being a child star and turned out normal. How did that happen? I don't know. You know, I was thinking about this. I feel like those kids in the cast of Harry Potter must have been heavily protected by the people there because somehow they came out normal. Like, you look at the Disney kids, you know, from Disney Channel. You know, I'm in the generation where I watched all those Disney Channel shows in the 2000s. So all those Disney Channel Disney Channel stars from that era, like I was part of all of that. I was watching all of those shows. But now, you know, they're all adults and we've just seen them grow up and you're like, what happened for like a number of them? So much so, I was reading an article the other day. I forgot what it was even about. But it was like, it made some passing comment where it was like, oh, no, this is what it was about. It was an old Lorde. Yeah, Lorde, like the musician Lorde. It was some old interview with Lorde. And she was saying how she wasn't like those other Disney kids because she grew up normal. And she was like describing her upbringing and like, comparing specifically the Disney kids is like, no, those kids are screwed up, but I'm normal. And I was just like, so does everyone in the industry just accept that the Disney kids are kind of effed up in the head? Like, because she just said it so casually, I thought it was funny. But anyway, going back to Harry Potter, it seems like that didn't happen to the Harry Potter kids because somehow Daniel Radcliffe turned out to be kind of a normal dude. And he is executive producing a documentary titled David Holmes, The Boy Who Lived. The doc follows his former stunt double who was paralyzed following an accident from an explosion on the Harry Potter set. So this guy, not only did he decide to just take his Harry Potter money and go off and make whatever the heck kind of movies and shows he wanted to, which I totally respect, he is now making a documentary specifically for the guy that got paralyzed, trying to be his stunt double. I mean, I think that is just like, he turned out to be actually a decent guy. Way to go. Also, the people who were on set protecting these kids for Harry Potter, where were they for Disney Channel? Alexander, I didn't even mention Selena Gomez, but you knew who I was talking about. She's not the only one. Giovanni Tessera says, I agree with chat. Something to do with the U.S. culture. Oh, you think it might be a difference between U.S. culture versus British culture? Sorry if you hear the church chimes in the background. I can't control that. I just hear all sorts of music in here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's very nice of him to be so kind to his stunt double. Yellow Umbrella says, I mean, they were British, so maybe that's saying something. Like, I feel like the American child stars go crazy. I don't know, but I just thought this was really, really great of him. But anyway, moving on to the more terrifying news again. And that's that there are rumors, okay, that there are executives over at Disney that are really pushing Bob Iger to lean more into video games and even purchase entertainment arts. So this actually broke a while ago. This isn't new at all, but again, like I said, I needed things to talk about, and I was like, well, we could spend more time on this. And oh my gosh, have these chimes not been going on for like 3 minutes straight? Are these chimes just gonna go on forever? Sorry. Y'all know I just moved here, so I'm still getting used to this. I don't know why they're still going. Sorry about that. But anyway, I think this is expected. I'm not surprised by this at all. In fact, Disney and EA have worked together on a number of games already, like Jedi Survivor, which I've actually played myself. I think that's a fun game. I haven't played the sequel yet, but I played the first one. It's a pretty good game. And they've had, like, all these other games that they've already worked with each other, so I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, EA also is in charge of The Sims, and The Sims has a lot of Disney crossover. Like, there's a whole Batu, like Galaxy's Edge Sims package game. Like, there's a lot of synergy between the two already, so it makes sense for Disney to buy EA specifically. And there's this whole Forbes article talking about the very real possibility that this could happen, or at least that people at Disney are discussing it. Now, obviously, a lot of people who play video games are like, oh my god, this is terrible. Like, EA is known for microtransactions after microtransactions. And then you bring Disney into the mix, who is a major, you know, corporatocracy, major, you know, stick in the mud, major, brings a lot of toxic workplace culture, brings a lot of baggage, and then you combine the two with EA, and I think you have a recipe disaster for, like, microtransactions upon macrotransactions. But who knows? For now, it's just rumor. It seems like Bob Iger is not really wanting to consider it, but I think they should. And here's why, even though I think it would be bad ultimately for the consumer. But here's why I think from a business sense, it makes sense to do this. So, the new Spider-Man game, apparently it's doing very, very well. It sold more than 2.5 million copies in the first 24 hours. And it's getting a lot of positive praise. A lot of people who have played it say the game is very good. I haven't played it yet. I want to, so it's on my list. But video gaming is so hot right now and so incredibly popular, especially among younger generations, which Hollywood is losing. I think it would make total sense if Disney wanted to, like, lean more into video games where there's a lot more, like, growth and potential, and, like, not maybe put as much focus on movies, or at least, like, put more of the funds on gaming than movies. I know that's kind of blasphemous, especially for the cinema fans. Oh my gosh, the chiming. It's been forever. It's been like 6 minutes. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so there's a lot of money and a lot of potential that they could, you know, tap into with the video game market. So I understand why they would do this. I think it would suck as a consumer, but from a business sense, I get why they would do it. How are you guys feeling about this? Nicholas says, are the church bells singing Twinkle Twinkle? I have no idea. It's getting on my nerve, that's what it's doing. Oh, I think it stopped. It stopped! Yay! Okay. Yell out the window, Brittany. No, I'm not. They stopped. Okay, they stopped. Brianna Does Art says, Disney has Kingdom Hearts, and they've done freaking nothing with it. That's what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Why have they not done nothing with, like, Kingdom Hearts? They are leaving money on the table, for sure. Okay, Nicholas wants to play the game. I'm hearing lots of good things. Breadstar says, two money-sucking companies together who do not care about their customers. What can go wrong? Exactly. It's like two companies who have a reputation for, like, trying to get every last dollar out of their customer, like, combining. Like, what could go wrong? Obviously. Like I said, I think it'll be just microtransactions on top of microtransactions. That's all we're gonna get. Shelly Lee. Oh my gosh, Shelly Lee. You are so kind, so generous. Thank you so much for the super chat. You keeping your composure while the bell chimes has me falling out of my chair laughing. I'm glad I could give you some entertainment, Shelly. I'm glad I could make you laugh. But yes, I was doing my best. I was just, was it not an excessively long time? You know, when you hear bells chime, it's usually like a few chimes and then it's done. But that was like 6 straight minutes, a whole song. I was not prepared. So yeah, thank you for the super chat though. Really appreciate it. Um, oh no, Alexander, you live near a freeway and you say it's hella noisy. Oh, I can only imagine. But anyway, I did have a member question because I wanted to know, um, do you guys think that Disney should lean into video games or not? Do you think this is actually smart for them to do? So, as always, you guys give great comments. I love the things that you say. Sometimes they're out there, but sometimes they're really insightful. I love these comments. Thank you. Of course, if you want to be a member, please just press the join button at the bottom of the screen. By joining and becoming a member, you can support the channel. Also, you can participate in the community posts on the community page, and you get your comment read, as we're about to do here. All right. So, any other comments before we get to this members comment? We do have WTF news, so do stick around for that. It's regarding, okay, do you guys remember the other day, or was it yesterday? I think it was the other day, where I showed you The Rock, the new wax figure for The Rock, and how The Rock was like, oh guys, this is so bad, I'm gonna update it. Well, they updated it. So that's the WTF news. If you want to see the update for The Rock, make sure you stick around until after the member segment. All right. Joshua Munn says, wait until you guys hear later what other companies Disney wants to buy that have been rumored since Bob Iger returned. Joshua Munn, that's so mysterious. What do you mean? Are you some insider? Do you have some insider knowledge? That sounds very, very mysterious. Blue Gecko Nerd says, I'm a Christian, but I won't pressure or encourage others to believe in God if they don't want to. Okay. That's great. I don't know what that has to do. You guys be having some side conversations. I mean, you guys can do that. That's great. Some person skywalking. Have you heard of that Disney racing game? It's full of microtransactions. Yeah, I've played some Disney games. They're full of microtransactions. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna have to, this is what a Disney EA game is gonna be like, okay? So you have to pay for the game itself, obviously. They're not gonna make it free. And then, on top of that, just in order to, like, get more than one costume, you're gonna have to pay. And then if you want more than one skin, you're gonna have to pay. And then to get past level 3, you're gonna have to pay. And then to get past level 6, you're going to have to pay for an object to get to a location that you're going to have to pay to unlock to get to the next level. Because that sounds like something they would do. So get ready for that, you know. Or they're going to try to do some metaverse stuff. I could totally see that too. Commander Shepard says, if Disney buys EA, then that means Commander Shepard female version will become a Disney princess. Change my mind. I mean, they didn't make Leia a Disney princess. I don't think they'll, like, make new people Disney princesses. But anyway, let's get to this. Okay. So, Riru, thank you so much for being a member, says, this could be good for Disney. They have made plenty of games in the past, so they are at least familiar with the territory. I am not sure how well they performed, but I know it has potential. There are enough characters and worlds to build off of. I remember playing the Magical Quest on Super Nintendo as a kid, and I loved it. I am curious to see where this goes. I mean, other than, say, you know, Disney Quest, or, not Disney Quest, Kingdom Hearts. Other than Kingdom Hearts, and I would also argue that Fallen Order is pretty good. I feel like Disney's pretty hit and miss with their games. Like, a lot of Disney games people don't like, but then there are occasionally some good ones. You know, there is, technically this is Disney now because Disney owns Avatar, but there is an Avatar video game coming out next year that I'm actually really looking forward to and definitely plan on playing. That could be very good. I just hope that they don't bring whatever is going on with their quality issues in their movies, they wouldn't bring over to the games. Because you know what? Gaming fans, if you guys thought that, like, fandom nerds within like the movie space were vicious. Gaming nerds are a whole different thing. Like, I don't think the studios are ready for gaming nerds. Like, they think they can barely handle, like, Lord of the Rings fans, you know? They cannot handle gaming nerds. So, I think they also are, Disney is probably underprepared for even handling this industry. They are probably thinking about all the money they can make, but they're not thinking about, like, you know, the culture that already exists there. But anyway, Nicholas Wilson says they've been in the gaming scene for a long time. One of my favorite games as a kid was Mickey's. Oh my god, more chimes. There's so many chimes. I'm sorry. They've been in the gaming scene for a very long time. One of my favorite games as a kid was Mickey's Castle of Illusion, and that was on the 8-bit console. Disney made a parallel port DAC called the Disney Sound Source for early PC gaming, so really it would make sense. It makes sense for Disney to go into gaming. I think apparently it was Bob Iger's decision long ago to like not get Disney into gaming, and I thought that was a mistake. Because I think it's obvious that gaming is kind of the future of mainstream entertainment. So to have Disney be out of gaming for so long, I think will prove to be a mistake in the long run. Alexander Padilla says, "Hey Brittany, I mean video games are all the rage these days, and knowing Disney, the games that they will make will be made into a live action movie or a TV show. So I see why they want to dive more into the space, considering games like The Last of Us and Spider-Man 2 are mega popular. As always, keep up the great works. Thank you." I'm sure Disney was looking at HBO's The Last of Us show, and they were like, how do we get our own show that we can make a show out of? I'm sure they would love to do something like that. Again, they can make a Kingdom Hearts show. Or they could even, since they don't know how to make their own Star Wars, they could just do like, you know, a Fallen Order TV show where they just literally like adapt that. You know, they have options. I think they definitely need to lean into video games more. I just don't know if, like, they can put their own, how do I put this? I don't know if they can put their own ish aside to, like, let these games be good. Like, from a business sense, they should do it, but I just don't know if, like, they will let themselves be great, you know? That's kind of what I worry about. Dadpool says, it makes sense since movies have pretty much been auto-played games so much that they have now last-minute patches. The issue with this is that joining together two companies with a dreadful reputation may not be a good idea. Well, it's an awful idea. Yeah, a lot of games have become very cinematic. One of my favorite games is Detroit Become Human, and that's basically like an interactive movie. And I could totally see that being a show. So I think the future of entertainment is like a sort of merging of gaming and storytelling. Like, I see sort of like interactive cinema or whatever being like a big thing within like 10-15 years. Just because I feel like, just like if you pay attention to trends at all, that just seems like where everything's heading. So again, that's why I think it makes sense for Disney to get into gaming. Let's just hope they don't mess it up. Chevin Jr. says, this is what I've been waiting for. Disney, instead of spending money on all those trash remakes, they needed to make more video games, but not with Electronic Arts, just do it under the Disney brand. I think they need to work with another video game company just because they haven't been making their own video games for a long time and they don't know how to do it. I think that would be like asking for a Disney game to be good where they make their own game for the first time is like, I think that's asking for a lot. Because you would be asking for, like, Lucasfilm directly. Like, you'd be asking for, like, Kathleen Kennedy directly to make a video game if you want Disney to make a video game. And I just don't see that being successful. I see that going about as well as, you know, them releasing a movie, which is not successful at all. What do you guys think, though? I'm looking at the chat now. Joshua Munn says, Disney will always be in Kingdom Hearts. Nomura doesn't want the Final Fantasy stuff in Kingdom Hearts anymore. He only put it in the DLC because of fan backlash. Well, I feel like they just gotta do something with it. I feel like that's their one gaming thing that's in their arsenal they're not using. Jonette says, but look at how fans reacted when the Fantastic Four characters were absent. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what FF? Not sure. Going back to this. Gly98 says, no, but I really want, yes, two possibilities come to mind. Number one, Disney, the business, continues with the uncreative renditions of their IP, but now more heavily monetized through apps/games. Their dollars will fund applications that act as quick cash grabs, overall cheapening their brand and cultural relevance. What? Disney cheapening their own brand and cultural relevance? Say it ain't so. They've never done that before. Number two, Disney, the studio, creates innovative works of art. What? I'm imagining Mario Party-like games that could be played with friends, family, etc. They could gamify their parks further, like creating AR mini-games for attendees to play when waiting to ride. With their interests, they already kind of do that. If you go to the park, there are already little things you can download and little things you can scan around the park that will give you little mini AR experiences. So they are starting to do that. With their interest in acquiring Apple, it shows me they want to push technology towards new frontiers, albeit for money. A lot of potential for them to reignite that wonder and imagination we've been longing for. Well, I made a live stream a while ago. It was one of my more out there, long-term future prediction live streams, where I said, if Disney and Apple were to merge at some point, because there's a lot of rumors about that too, then since Apple's working on this Apple Vision Pro thing and eventually they want their own glasses or whatever, could totally see them if they had control of the parks making nothing but digital experiences all over the parks as long as you have your glasses or something like that. So I could see that being where their long-term future plans are, but again, that's possibly far out there. But I get where you're going, Gly98. I feel like you and I are on a similar, we're thinking similar things here. I hope they choose the latter, but I know money hungry their execs are. Oh yeah, they'll do whatever gets them the most money. Did I lose anyone on my last thing? How is the chat doing? Jordan Davis says, I really don't want Disney to get any bigger than it already is. Honestly, I think the only way Disney will get bigger is if it gets eaten by a bigger company. I don't think Disney itself will get bigger. I think right now they're actually in the process of slimming down, because it sounds like they want to sell off a lot of stuff. Brianna does art. Yes, I did hear Chris Pine's song. I didn't play it because copyright, but I'm excited for Wish. I feel like I'm the only one excited for Wish, but I'm excited for it. But anyway, Fabrizio Valdivia, I hope I said that right, says they should focus on getting their IP back to where it was before they think about getting into gaming. If they just start releasing games as it is, they won't perform well. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's kind of what I was saying too. How I think Disney needs to get their quality control in check before they get into gaming, because if they ruin the games, the gaming nerds, oh my god, they're not prepared. So yeah, I think they need to get their act together first, for sure. The CoverGirl official says, I don't have faith the games will be good, so probably not going to save Disney's reputation. If people buy their games, people will make some money, but it's not like they're going to use it to pay people fairly. I don't really think video games would work out for Disney. They have tried games before and it didn't work out for them, so maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe something about Disney's culture just prevented them. I don't know. But yeah, it does seem like, I don't know what it was, but they did try to do gaming way back in the day and it didn't work out. So who knows? Maybe it won't work for them this time, but I get what they want to try. Ryan Noel says they are stumbling with the acquisitions they have. Better focus on what still works for them instead of just sinking more money into other ventures. But here's the thing. Should they just keep sinking more money into Marvel and Star Wars when, it's not a guarantee that they can totally turn those brands around? Like, how much more money should they really sink into Star Wars, really? Like, Star Wars is at a point where, like, you could just keep making more shows that no one's gonna see. That's gonna divide the audience. But that's not gonna help you. In fact, that's gonna hurt you. So, I don't know. At some point, I feel like Disney does need to find something else to make money because they can't just keep relying on the same brands that I think they have clearly just wrung dry at this point. Joshua Munn says, "Really? EA? I thought they would have tried to buy Square Enix." Well, like I said, I think EA makes sense because they've already worked together a number of times. Cheetah Viper says, "No, Disney shouldn't get into games. If they want to make games, make stuff based on IPs they own. With the list of flops on Disney Plus and in theaters, I don't trust their ability to create a good story." Yeah, I mean, I'm glad a lot of you are agreeing with me that if they are going to do games, they need to get their quality in check because don't make crappy games. It's one thing to, like, make a crappy movie because you can watch a crappy movie and it's like, okay, if you actually watch the whole thing, you wasted 2 hours. Okay. A game is like multiple hours, like several hours of your life. It's more engaged, it feels more personal because you're in charge. It's a whole different thing. You make a crappy game. Did you guys see what happened when I don't know how many of you guys are gamers, but do you guys see what happened when they released that Cyberpunk game on release and, like, nothing worked? Because they released it when, like, apparently the developer said it wasn't ready. And you saw how angry everyone got over that? And they had to release a public apology. And they had to, like, work overtime to try to fix it and everything. Oh no, what happened to my camera? Okay. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, you know that was, like, a whole big deal. So Disney cannot make a bad game and just, deal with it. That's going to be, like, a big deal. Much bigger deal than just a bad movie. So I think they really need to think hard about if they really want to get into this, because they're going to have to be serious about getting their quality in check. Brianna Desart says crappy games feel worse than crappy movies. Exactly. They just kind of have, like, a bigger impact too. Brianna Desart says people were so mad Cyberpunk. Yes, Brianna knows what I'm talking about. Exactly. Okay. What was it? Desi B? Was that what it was? I'm sorry. I hope I said that right. Someone needs to stop Disney for real. I love Disney as an entity that brings Disney movies and magic. As a company, they are getting greedy and desperate. They fail to see the good properties they already have in their repertoire. Leave the gaming industry alone. EA is fine without them. Slap hand away, bad Disney, stay away. It does seem like they can't make a single decision without angering someone these days. Like, literally, everything they do, it's like I said, even at the beginning of the stream, before I even started talking about Disney, everyone was already like, oh, Disney, F them. Like, they got everyone mad. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, all sides of the political spectrum, they got everyone pissed off right now. Evil Connor says, OMG, give us Disney Sims. There already is kind of a Disney Sims. Like I said, there are Star Wars Disney Sims. There's a lot of, like, Star Wars connections. I would love, like, a Disney Princess Sims. That would be fun. I do love The Sims. I play The Sims a lot. Or I used to. I need to get back into it. But anyway. Fofo says, this could be good for nostalgia and to promote their IP. I mean, it could be good for cross-branding. As long as they make good brands, this actually could be really good for them. I mean, good brands. Good games. This could be good for them. But that's, a big if, unfortunately. RuPaul's Drag Race Superfan says, for God's sake, no, we don't need video games ruined. Also, I think the FCC needs to step in because at this point, Disney is trying to become a monopoly. Also, they will run it into the ground like they did Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. Also, where are they getting this money? They have lost $1 billion in 1 year. Do they want to go bankrupt? They are spending a ton of money. I keep seeing all these articles about how broke Disney is and how they have to pay all this money for Hulu and all this stuff. But then they're also like, at the same breath, we're still looking to buy stuff. And I'm just like, it's billions of dollars. I thought you guys were broke. Why do you guys keep wanting to spend money? Yeah, I'm totally with you. Disney has a spending money problem. Jordan Davis says, no, Disney already conquered Hollywood. We don't need mouse hands to touch any other IP. They did conquer Hollywood throughout the 2010s. I don't think they conquer it anymore. That's probably why they're looking for other things. Marilyn Cherry says, I could not care less. Fair enough, not everyone's into gaming. Alright, so I think that's everything. Thank you everyone who commented here, and thank you everyone for becoming a member. Again, if you want to become a member, please press the join button at the bottom of the screen. Alright, moving on to the WTF news. I promised you WTF news. It's about The Rock, so let's get to it. Oh wait, before we get to WTF news, I do want to round out this segment, just seeing if anyone in the chat had any other comments. Okay, Laura B would also play Disney Sims. I feel like that would actually do pretty well. Bring back Club Penguin. I loved me some Club Penguin, man. Oh, that was such a good game. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, Brittany, there's a YouTuber called Pop Kel. She does this Sims playthrough called The Hunger Games where you choose fictional characters and they do challenges. That sounds really fun, actually. Alright, so you guys want to see the new Rock wax figure. Here we go. So this isn't the new one, this is the old one. I just wanted to give you a reference for what the old one looked like. Remember, The Rock was like, you guys, I want it. I'm going to update my wax figure with some new important details and improvements. And starting with my skin color. He said this needed to be improved upon, and we all agreed this was Mr. Clean. This was not The Rock, this was Mr. Clean. Someone even said this was Jason Statham, so we all agreed this was not The Rock. So, are you guys ready to see what the new wax update looks like? Alright, here we go. Isn't it so much better? They just gave him more wrinkles, and they made his head flatter. I don't know. I feel like this... What is this? How is this different than this one? Other than he just looks older and like slightly more chiseled, like he has a 5 o'clock shadow. I don't know. I'm still not buying it. Is anyone buying it? Are you guys buying this? Is this an update? Does this look better to you? I don't know. This looks worse to me. The skin color, you're right, the skin color is still not right. Oh no, Nicholas says this looks like Mr. Clean's dad. This is not The Rock. Billy Zane, oh no. Oh no, I mean, he's got the eyebrows. Looks like artificial intelligence, yeah. Arvin says he looks like he got punched in the face by an elephant. What? Y'all. I mean, here he is. He doesn't have his little 5 o'clock shadow. He just looks like he's, fresh-faced, optimistic, young little chap. And then you get to this guy and he's like, you know what? I drank whiskey. I've got a 5 o'clock shadow. I've got some more wrinkles now. I've seen a thing or two. I feel like, you know what happened? I feel like The Rock, he didn't tell them. He said he was going to tell them to change the skin color and make it look more like him. No, that's not what The Rock actually said. This is what The Rock said. The Rock said, make me look manlier. Make me look more chiseled. He definitely thought people were making fun of his old statue for not looking manly enough. That's definitely in his mind what he thought, because that's what looks like the biggest difference to me. But anyway, do you guys agree with this? How do you guys feel about this? Does anyone think this is better? Okay, Brianna hates this. That's great. Square Cube says he looks like he went through a quarter-life crisis. Oh, not a quarter-life crisis. Dang, he went through a quarter-life crisis and his half-life crisis. All at the same time. Oof. Rhea Roo says the first one looked better. Maybe they just don't want people complaining. I mean, yeah, I do think the first one does kind of make him look a little better. Yeah, you're right. He just looks a little bit more, like, happy. Again, he just looks a little bit more like this one's a bartender, you know? Um, okay. Star Film Studio says the old one looks weird and the new one looks like kind of sucks. So you guys are saying neither looks good? Yeah, the chat is looking very wild. What? Indie Sunflower says this looks like your grandpa. Oh no. Ray Roo says sexy Mr. Clean. Oh man. Okay, so this is Mr. Clean's brother. I see Mr. Clean's father, sexy Mr. Clean. This is definitely in some association with Mr. Clean, according to y'all though. You guys are so funny. I love this. This chat is wild. But anyway, this was my WTF news. I had to finish with this. I just thought it was funny. Because this does not look like The Rock. And they really thought they did something. But anyway. But that was it. That was my show today. It's actually dark outside now. Wow. This was a great show. I enjoyed talking with you all. I'm glad I got everything to work out. Sorry the show was late. I did have an appointment earlier, which is why the show was at a later time today. I'm glad I could have you guys all join me. I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, this was great. And yes, I'll see you tomorrow. That is all.